Hi, beautiful souls. I hope that you're all doing really, really well. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a pick a card reading to find out or to check in on current energy for either you or someone on your mind, and it can be whoever it needs to be for you. It is a very general reading, so we're not looking at how you're feeling about a relationship or work or anything like that. We're just getting a general gist of the current energy, generally speaking. If there's specific messages coming up, I'll let you know. However, there's going to be a few of you watching this, so you're going to need to take it as it resonates for you. Please also remember the most important thing, and that is that time is an illusion and energy is fluid. So once you get these messages, of course, things can change. And we also need to remember that people have their own free will, that we can only kind of control what's going on in our eternal world and our energy, if that all makes sense, which I'm sure it does since you're watching this. Now, we have 3 different cards to choose from. We're choosing 3 different cards from the Wild Unknown archetypes. I'm not going to tell you their meanings. I'm just going to get you to pick the one that you're most drawn to. And then we will start unraveling the readings. We are going to be getting a word of advice as well from your higher self or the other person's higher self, and an oracle card as well. If you would like to get a personal reading with me, you can find all my details in the description box below, alongside all my social media platforms. And I think that's about it. Please, if you'd like to support me, you can do so by giving me a thumbs up, giving the video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, by sharing it with other people, and also by subscribing. And please feel very free to leave feedback and comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on your reading and maybe what's going on for you and how it applies in your life. All right, without any further ado, let's get into these readings. Okay, so these are the 3 cards that you have to choose from. We have the Bridge, which is going to represent pile 1 or reading 1. We have the Riddle, which is going to represent pile 2. And then we have Eros, which is going to represent pile 3 or reading 3. If you need a little bit more time to decide which one you're more drawn to, you can definitely do that. But I'll just get you to pause the video because I am about to start the readings. Okay, pile 1, hello. If you chose the Bridge, this is your reading. Remembering that time is an illusion and energy is fluid. That this reading, as I said, of course, is in the introduction, is either for your current energy, and then we will pull a word of advice from your higher self around what you need to do or be mindful of this. And I'm also going to be pulling a card of advice for you as a viewer if this is a reading that you're watching for someone else. So say if you're watching this for your partner or for a family member or a work colleague, I'm going to give you a word of advice. I'll do both of the cards, of course, but there's going to be a word of advice for you as the person that might be supporting this person or whatever's going on, if that makes sense. Okay, let's get straight into it. So the Bridge really represents a transition, but it also represents connection. So connection, transition, union. So this energy really speaks of crossing over from separation into unity, as you can see these 2 hands here. From confusion into understanding, from isolation into connection. The person that we're talking about here, whether it's you or someone else, as I said before, this person is going through a moment of linking worlds, and this might be between their old self and their new self, or between 2 people or 2 paths, is what I'm getting here. But because we're talking about current energy, we're going to just say it's for their energy, but that's going to create confusion for you. But I think you know what I mean. You'll need to apply this as it resonates. So yes, as I said, this person is in a moment of linking worlds. So maybe between their old self and their new self, which is probably what's going on, or between two people or two paths. But generally what's happening inside internally is also a reflection of what's happening on our outside world, and of course affects our outside world as well, as we always say in these videos. So they're standing, or you're standing, between what was and what's coming, and finding the courage to cross the space in between. And there's water here, so there's a lot of emotion going on. There's a lot of subconscious stuff coming up here as well to be healed and to be brought into union. This is a really beautiful card. Okay, so I'm just going to put that there. So we start off with the Hanged Man and the Page of Swords. So this person is kind of in a pause, or in a kind of this kind of pause within this transitional phase, and they're gaining new perspective, perhaps through surrender or patience, or that's what they need to be doing, but that's what they're doing, right? And this is a major arcana, so this means there's lessons that need to be learnt around pausing and using patience before moving forward with whatever's next, and really being able to reflect on this as well. With the Page of Wands clarifying, this shows that while they're kind of hanging, their inner spark is reigniting. So curiosity, creativity, or desire for movement is stirring within this person here. I also feel that part of this is as well is their inner child being stirred, but their inner child in a creative way. There's creativity wanting to come out, and it's kind of how, I don't know how to best kind of articulate this, but there's a lot going on even just with these two cards, and I feel like a lot of this is creativity behind it, and some of it has to do with inner child healing and inner child work as well, that is going to bring about this creativity and this movement. So this is Page of Wands is all about fire energy. So I feel like as well that maybe in this limbo moment, or in this moment of waiting to see what happens, and reflection and all that type of stuff, there's also fire brewing underneath. There's a spark here where this might also be talking about learning how to best utilize this energy in a way that's positive and constructive, and kind of like the magician or the alchemist, turn it into something creative and beautiful and wonderful. Because I think also this creative aspect is what's underneath the Hanged Man as well. That yearning for creativity and for moving forward into creativity, and letting that inner child be creative, letting that inner part of you that maybe was subdued or not fully recognized when you were younger, or it didn't play out, or it wasn't able to play out, is now really wanting to come into being, is what I'm getting here. With the Four of Pentacles and the Three of Cups here, there's tension for this person between holding on tightly, like this person is here in the Four of Pentacles, and the desire to kind of open up and connect with the Three of Cups here. So you or they are protecting their heart, their time, or their energy, yet there's this juxtaposition or conflict with craving emotional freedom or joyful connection as well, which is making it very challenging. And this is really about learning when to hold boundaries and when to soften as well, is the balance between the two. And this is what's stopping the bridge from this is what's stopping the person from crossing the bridge or stopping unity, is this fear that comes with this fear of letting go and just connecting and enjoying the good times and enjoying things that you should be celebrating. Because there's this new big creative spark wanting to come out of this person. I feel like for some of you, you're already aware of this and it's just lying dormant, and maybe there's a new project that you're wanting to start. But this is also tied with emotional, as the wounded child, as I said before, or emotional. Maybe for some of you, this means that this hasn't yet come out in you and it will be, or it's asking to be released, if that makes sense. Very interesting. And then we have, mental or communicative energy with the Queen of Swords and the Two of Swords here. So this is about thinking sharply but feeling internally conflicted here. So the Queen, man or woman, brings clarity and truth, but the Two of Swords here really shows indecision. And so perhaps you or your person know what must be done, but there's a hesitation to act or speak it. So it's kind of like you or they are balancing head and heart and learning to discern rather than overthink, which can be a really big challenge in itself. And that comes back to, again, bridging the two, bridging head and heart, bridging overthinking and discernment, because the Two of Swords here is really this person not really knowing and being fearful, because this person can't see really, and it's like they're in this stalemate. So they can't make decisions, or they feel like they can't make decisions, and so they overthink instead of just seeing things kind of clearly and moving forward. This is a very interesting reading. So your words of advice, the words of advice that we have for this reading. So if this reading is for you that you're watching, your word of advice is the Magician. And the Magician says you already have what you need. You really do. And this is about empowerment, creativity, and real conscious manifestation. So really being present and knowing how you're manifesting what you want to manifest and what you want to create out of this whole experience, out of this whole bridging experience and this experience of wanting unity, whether it's within yourself or with others, and it's generally all of those things, right? This is, it's time to turn observation into creation and ideas into action, and knowing the importance of presence in all of this and the importance of staying conscious and making conscious decision and effort in this. Because the Magician has the power to make anything happen. Now, your word of advice, if you're watching this reading for someone else, for a partner or a loved one, your word of advice as their supportive person or as their friend or whatever role you play or whatever you want to see yourself as, is the King of Cups, right? So this is just really saying that your advice is to stay emotionally grounded, compassionate and steady. Don't try to control or fix this person. Just hold space for them with emotional maturity and empathy. Another message here is you can't steer their transformation for them. You really can't, but you can offer calm water for their waves. Because the King of Cups, man or woman, is really, really good at being able to empathize with people, and they're compassionate and loving and kind, and you know, they pick up very easily on others' emotions and feelings and what they're going through. And when they're balanced and, you know, in their greatest version, they're able to support others and themselves by, you know, stepping into this role of all the beautiful things that I just suggested, and staying really grounded in that as well, and using their emotional maturity to be able to hold the water steady and the emotions and feelings steady. Now, your oracle card is Follow Your Heart, St. Francis. So this is really talking about following your heart, listening to what it is that you want and really going for it, and not worrying too much about, not over worrying about outcomes, you know, which really fits in with this, you know, having clarity about what your heart wants, but just really going for it and having hope and faith that everything will really turn out. So pile one, I really hope you enjoyed your reading. I hope it's given you some clarity and or insight into you or your person's current energy. Please feel very free to leave feedback and comments below, and I'll see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, pile two, or for those of you who chose the riddle archetype, this is your reading to find out your current energy or someone else's current energy. And we're going to be getting a word of advice for you from your higher self if this is your situation. And we're also going to be getting a word of advice if you're watching this reading for someone else, as someone that is supporting them. Okay, and we also have an oracle card for you. But let's really get into the riddle first, and I'll give you a little bit of an understanding of this. So the riddle is, in essence, the essence of this is paradox, mystery, and the lesson hidden in confusion. So this archetype really asks, what if not knowing is the whole point? Because I think sometimes we can really struggle with trying to understand the meaning of everything, because then we feel like we'll have more control over what it is. So the riddle energy really appears when someone's mind feels tangled, and when patterns repeat, like these circles here, right? Clarity seems distant, and the only way forward is through deeper self-understanding rather than questioning the outside world. So it's the spiritual test that invites surrender, not solution. So let's see how this all ties in with your reading. So let's get into it. You have a major arcana here to begin with. So major arcanas are always karmic cards, which means this is an opportunity for you to learn something big so that you don't have to keep going through the same suffering. You can let go of the karmic bonds or ties or lessons associated with it. That doesn't mean that you won't have, you know, struggles or challenges in the future around the same type of thing, but it won't affect you anywhere near as badly as what it is now. It won't create the same level of suffering. All right, so the devil clarified by the Eight of Swords. So at the moment, you or your person is really caught in a cycle of entrapment. And both cards here really mirror mental and energetic bondage. The devil shows attachment or temptation, and the Eight of Swords shows self-limiting beliefs and fear. So you or your person might be feeling powerless or stuck in a pattern, yet the chains are largely self-imposed illusions, right? And the riddle is really how that kind of works in conjunction with this. Is it's saying, you know, why do you keep yourself bound when the key is already in your hand? This is such entrapment in your mind, and the devil is entrapment in your mind as well, because these are very, very ego-based cards. So when we're trapped in ego and past trauma and conditioned way of thinking and being, and we're not present and conscious, this ends up affecting us, and we loop time and time again, because we've got to remember that our subconscious controls, I can't remember what it is. I think it's something like 85 or 90% of what we do, our behavior, how we react to things, the decisions we make. So until we start really making the subconscious conscious through many forms, it might be through energetic work, working with a therapist, whatever it is, until we start meditation, until we start making the subconscious and the unconscious conscious, and see what really is creating the suffering for ourselves and others, then we just sit in this mental torment and we don't really see things clearly for what they are. And so we can sit in this victim mentality, and just not feel like we can move, or not feel like we're bound here, because this person is bound, but they're able to move forward. They're able to walk away from this situation. So at the moment, you or your person is going through a very challenging time in being very bound to karmic stuff, trauma, subconscious, negative things that are just really holding you or them back. And this is a time, and this is an opportunity to really shift through this if you choose to, or they choose to. So this is really big. The Ace of Wands and the Six of Cups. So this is really the spark of release. So this is a new beginning that's really fueled by like nostalgia or emotional memory, you know, things that happened that you enjoyed as a child, or you even enjoyed with this person or other people, but this is real kind of younger energy. And the Six of Cups really brings about innocence and healing through the past, is what I'm getting here. So the Ace of Wands is really reigniting a passion and creativity. So this is really saying that healing comes from remembering who you are, or whoever this reading is for. It's about remembering who they are before the fear, you know, and rediscovering joy, play, or a forgotten dream, because this is about enjoying things. This is a beautiful card. This is about, you know, remembering positive things, remembering things from the past that are positive and brought joy and happiness, and coupled with the Ace of Wands, you know, this is healing through this, because the Ace of Wands is about a new beginning and reigniting passion and creativity, okay, through remembering what you love, what you enjoy from the past. Nine of Pentacles and Two of Swords. So this really shows self-sufficiency, which is through the Nine of Pentacles, versus indecision with the Two of Swords. So this person is currently, you or your person is currently learning to stand strong and independent through the Nine of Pentacles, whilst wrestling with uncertainty with the Two of Swords, because the Two of Swords is about uncertainty, really not knowing what's happening, not being able to see the bigger picture, being very stuck in the mind, very much guarded as well is what I'm getting here. So this is really about trusting you or their own value, even when you don't have all the answers with the Two of Swords, even when things feel, out of control or unknown. So learning that peace comes from confidence, not control, is a big message I'm getting here for you or your person. Well, for everyone, really. Peace comes from confidence, not control. Control is a very self-limiting thing that creates this, because when we're trying to control something, it's generally out of fear. Not always, but generally speaking, especially when we're trying to control things that are not conducive or good for us, and things that we can't control. And we could go down a rabbit hole with that, but I'm not going to. That's when personal readings get really good. All right, so let's get into the words of advice. So if we're looking at advice for the viewer, so if this reading is for you and it's your energy, we have the 10 of Pentacles. So your message is really to embody patience and reliability, because the 10 of Pentacles is about the pinnacle, stability, reliability, being grounded, being comfortable, being confident with it. This is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, earth energy, right? So the guidance is to think long-term and stay grounded. Stability, legacy, and support systems matter. Building security in the physical world will help unravel the emotional confusion as well for you. So this is really about anchoring your growth in real world roots. Consistency and community are the keys to clarity here. Now, if you are watching this for someone else, this is advice for you as the viewer. If you're asking about someone else, sorry, I repeated myself there. Just wanted to make that very clear. Your message is to embody patience and reliability. It's interesting how we had the 10 of Pentacles and now we have the King of Pentacles. Man or woman, this person is, their strength lies in being grounded, in being patient. So be the calm, stable presence. Don't rush this person's process or try and solve their riddle for them. Your steadiness is their safe ground. Lead by example, not interference. The Oracle card is peace offering. So I think this coincides with everything really, and I think this is just really saying as well that if there's someone that is involved in this, I really think this is really giving yourself a peace offering. And if there's anyone out there that you need to give a peace offering to, or that you may need to, that you may feel like you want to kind of show them gratitude for their support, or if you haven't been their greatest version in front of them, or they've been giving you a lot of support, or maybe there's been conflict or challenging times within them, this is really calling out to give a peace offering for both of you. because this will also really help to shift things as well. And peace is so important to really move away from this, because this energy is not conducive to anyone. It's really quite awful. But you know, we can all be here. We can all get trapped in this. But we're trapping ourselves here. We need to take responsibility for this. All right, pile 2, I really hope you enjoyed your reading as much as I did doing it for you. And as I always say, you can find all my details in the description box below if you would like a personal reading. Please feel very free to leave feedback and comments below, and to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much. Lots of love and light. I'll see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, pile 3, or for those of you who chose the archetype Eros, this is your reading. We're going to be looking at your current energy or someone else's current energy. We're going to be getting a word of advice from your higher self for you as the viewer, if this is your energy, and also a word of advice if you are watching this reading for someone else and maybe you're supporting them as a family member or a loved one, or whatever resonates for you. Let's get into it. So Eros is in essence about love, vitality, the creative pulse of life. And Eros is the energy of heart awakening. So the force that draws us towards connection, creation, and passion. This is not only romantic, it's kind of the life force itself, the desire to live fully and to live boldly. So when this archetype appears, someone's heart and purpose are reigniting. They're learning that love and truth are the same current of energy, and when they're aligned, they can move mountains. This is really beautiful. Let's see how this fits in with your reading. Okay, so we've got a lot of kings in here, and we have a beautiful major arcana with the star. So that's a really nice card to get as a major arcana. It's a karmic card, and the star is all about hope and healing, which is a really lovely card to get amongst everything else that's going on. So let's get into this. So the King of Swords and the King of Wands. So this is really intellect meets passion. King, man or woman, it doesn't matter. The King of Swords brings clarity, truth, and strategy in their balanced form. And the King of Wands is about, charisma, drive, and creative leadership. So together they represent someone who's learning how to balance mind and fire, to speak their truth with confidence and act from vision, not ego. So embodying mastery through clear thinking that's powered by heart and purpose. So with Eros in motion, this is really about mental precision fused kind of together with passion and a heart-driven mind. So it's mastering these elements to bring them into balance. As I said before, balancing mind and fire, air and fire. So when these are out of balance, overthinking, when this is out of balance, too fiery, too aggressive, thinking they know everything. So this, you or your person is learning how to master these two elements, which is very challenging. It's not an easy thing to do. With the Two of Wands and the Star, this pair really is about hope and vision here. So the Two of Wands is this really thinking about what the next move is going to be and planning it, thinking about it. And when it's coupled with the Star, it really is, it's infused with optimism, purpose, and divine alignment and healing and all those beautiful things. So this is a big thing for this person. They're mastering these things, as I said before, and they're also making a decision or making decisions that align with what is their divine alignment and what it is that they're feeling they're kind of meant to be doing. So they're really looking toward the future with renewed faith. They're learning to dare to dream again and to follow a calling, as I said before, that feels both inspiring and healing together. So with Eros here, this is like longing for expansion and the sacred kind of spark that's guiding them forward. With the King of Pentacles and the Six of Wands, so this is really strong, grounded success energy here. The King of Pentacles is all about stability, responsibility, and abundance, and the Six of Wands is victory and recognition. So this person is really stepping into their power and their self-worth is what I'm getting here. And learning that true success comes from integrity, patience, and confidence in their gifts, which is the Six of Wands. So Eros, in conjunction with Eros, this is really love made real through action and creation. And it's interesting how you've got the elements here. You've got the earth, the air, the fire. The only thing that is missing here is water. However, we've got some here in the Star. I think the Star is earth energy, but it doesn't, I'm going intuitively here where you've got that water, that conscious faith and hope. Lots of growth and renewal here. This is really beautiful. Okay, so I'm now going to show you your words of advice as either this reading being for you or for someone else. So for you, as if this is about you and your energy, we have the Ace of Swords. So your higher self is really saying, speak your truth and cut through illusion here. This is the moment to see clearly and to express what's real. And the Ace of Swords really reminds you that clarity is love in action, and your honesty is sacred. So let your truth be your breakthrough, because your heart already knows. Now, this is advice if you are watching this reading about someone else. We have the Ten of Cups. So your message is to see the bigger picture of emotional harmony. And I think this kind of is fitting to if this reading is for you as well. So take it as it resonates. This is really trusting that love is finding its way, and to really focus on the vision of peace and fulfillment that the 10 of Cups brings, because this is total, emotional fulfillment. It's like you can't get higher than this, right? But it's really about focusing before, as I said, on the vision of this, the vision of peace and fulfillment, rather than the details of how it happens. Okay, so this is really saying hold the space for joy, because love will align in its own timing. Beautiful. I hope you enjoyed your reading, pile 3. I hope it's given you everything that you needed it to. If you would like to get a personal reading, or just any other details you might need to know or find out about me, you can find in the description box below. I really want to thank you for your support with this reading, and I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I did recording it for you. Thank you so much, pile 3. I'll see you at my next reading. Bye. Oh, sorry. I forgot, totally forgot to show you your oracle card. Got carried away there with the whole message because it's a really beautiful reading. Your oracle card is crystals. So, and this is a Pona. So this is really talking about, if you have crystals at home, this is just advising that you use them, because I think a lot of us do own crystals, but we kind of don't use them, or we leave them lying about, and forget the metaphysical properties and qualities that they have to help us in healing. So get your crystals out and make use of them. Carry them around with you and let them do the healing that the properties within them have for you to make the most out of. Some of you as well, maybe you have crystals that need clearing or cleaning, and you can do that by using sage, or if you already kind of do energy healing, you can clear it yourself, or you can simply put them into some salt water, or even better, put them into, if you go to the beach, or if you're near a beach, you could take them and sort of dip them in the salt water. That will help cleanse them as well. But the biggest intention, if your intention is really strong in cleansing them yourself, you can also do that as well. Apologies, pile 3, for forgetting that. I hope you enjoyed your reading, and I'll see you next time. Bye.